On the second day of Rosh Hashana, I talked about our climate and the importance of, as a Jewish community, caring about the plight of our planet and the climate. So we know that the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, the IPCC, only weeks ago came out with a report. And these are after a series of many reports all the way back to the Paris Agreement in 1995, where it was clear now, really clear, beyond doubt, they were saying, that it's humans that are causing the challenges, the damage to our climate. Where that had been more in doubt, now it's becoming absolutely much clearer that because of fossil fuel emissions, because so much emission is happening that it cannot be absorbed by carbon sinks such as seas, atmosphere therefore is warming, caps are melting, sea levels are rising, and of course we have also very unpredictable weather systems, which we're experiencing now. The fact that it's Germany or Spain or the United States means that this isn't a problem that is somewhere else. It's not someone else's problem. It really is our problem. It's a universal problem. And it's something that really that we need to be part of as a people. And I suppose the question is, from where does our care come? Why should we as Jewish people care about protecting the world? Well, firstly, you can look at the creation story itself. You know, on Rosh Hashana, we say Hayom Harat Olam. This is the day of the creation of the world. The sense is that Rosh Hashana is the anniversary. We believe it's the anniversary of creation, where we crown God king over that creation. And so if that's what it is, we need to think about creation as well. And in that creation story, which I think defines our existence, it's not just a bedtime story. It's not just a simple narrative. To me, it's existential, it's definitional. It's right at the heart of who we are as people. It teaches us really essential things. And we see that when Adam, this first person, is created, Adam is placed in the Garden of Eden, le'ovda u'leshomra, to work the land, to work the garden, and to preserve it, to conserve it. That avodah, that extraction of what's needed from the ground for the purposes of human survival is great, is okay. But it needs to go hand in hand with the preservation, extracting, not in a way which will leave the land fallow without anything to give, that will leave a damaged planet at the same time. And this, of course, is a tension. These two concepts, these two things, these two parameters of the working and extracting and the need for preservation often are tense. They have a tense relationship with each other. And I don't think of myself as having a mystical relationship with nature. I love nature. It's beautiful. Lockdown has given us great space to enjoy nature. And I love nature. I have been feeding birds in the garden. You might be able to see them at some point over the last 18 months. I've loved being able to define. I even got into different types of bumblebees when I was away with the family in the summer. I love that. It maybe also brings me a sense of belief in the amazing work of God. But my desire to fight climate change doesn't come as much from the mystical union with nature, that side, but it's about humanity. It's about my belief in the importance of humanity in God's plan for this world. And so if it's going to damage our place there, we need to do something about it. Listen to these words of Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch from the 19th century. Nature itself finds its appointed purpose promoted, as well as the necessary condition for its continuance, in man's conscientious, dutiful use of the bounties of nature, as expressed by avodah, that's working, and shmirah, preservation. So what is unique about the last 150 years or so, and certainly more recently, in recent decades, is that our ability to extract from nature, whether it's agriculture, livestock, fishing, has outpaced our ability to protect nature for the future. I think that's really, really important. Listen to these words in the Midrash. When the Blessed One, the Holy One, created the first human, he took him and led him round all the trees of the garden and said to him, look at my works, how beautiful and praiseworthy they are. And all that I have created, it was for you that I created it. Pay attention that you do not corrupt and destroy my world. If you corrupt it, there is no one to repair it after. And that moral sense of stewardship, our responsibility, is so important to reflect on at Rosh Hashana. And the sense that we are over extracting and not preserving as well. It affects us also in debt. In our world, in the world of the West, we are so based, our economies are so based on debt. And I mean, really private debt, the amount of private debt now, the amount that we're living beyond our means and getting through life like that is quite incredible and causes a lot of instability in our financial system, which means that many suffer because of that as well. So let's think of this tension. Let's think about how we can bring back together what we extract together with preservation. One clear way, of course, of doing that is going to be to reduce what we extract, to be more careful. Of course, there'll be other ways to build greater technological ability to prevent the damage of that by, for instance, be able to absorb carbon emissions. But that won't do it all. We're going to need also to think about reducing, restricting, and managing how we take from our world. Shana Tova.